Welcome to the Apotheosis, a StarKid fancast dedicated to untangling the mysteries of Hatchetfield, one implication at a time.
I'm Ramona.
And I'm Mina. Get your cup of poison coffee and let's begin. Today's episode is about Wilbur Cross, also known as Uncle Wiley, and Miss Holloway. We'll talk about their past together, how their powers work, and their relationships to other characters. But first, our StarKid Spotlight is on
Kim Whalen. Kimberly Michelle Whalen was born on February 27, 1985. Is 36 and an Aquarius. Kim grew up in Dallas, Texas, where she graduated from the University of Texas with her BFA and studied TV, film, and improv. While starring in The Light in the Plaza as the lead, she met her husband Kurt Mega. The two live in LA and have cats Linus, as well as their newest rescue kitten Lucy. Kim loves plants and gardening. She's a trained singer and coach in contemporary, classic, pop, musical theater, rock, and jazz for over 10 years. She also has dance training in jazz, ballet, and modern hip-hop. Kim attended the Quad C theater program, and she played Louisa in the 50th year anniversary production of The Fantastics. She can burp on cue and knows how to horseback ride. Kim offers vocal and acting coaching and co-hosts a podcast called Story Matters with Mike Tobias and Kurt Mega. Together they discuss the art of storytelling and how the stories relate to present day. In the upcoming series Headless, a Sleepy Hollow story by the Tin Can Brothers, she's playing Ramona Trousers. Her Hatchetfield roles are Sniggle, Becky Barnes, Sylvia, Jenny, Miss Holloway, Girl Jerry, Volunteer, and Liz Cunningham. Her character's mortality rate is 33.33%.
That's amazing! Alright, the stage is set. It's showtime. Let's begin. Alright everyone, before we begin, we wanted to say that this is being recorded like 5 hours before episode 3 begins, and so the first half of this is going to be spoiler free. You can listen to it without worries, and then we'll record the second half later when Nightmare Time's over with new information that we get later.
Alright, it's episode 3. How should we start this episode?
Let's do Wilbur first, and then we can move on to Holloway, and then we can talk about their relationship. Okay. Uncle Wiley, Wilbur Cross. Okay, so we know Wilbur Cross was do we have it confirmed that he was McNamara's mentor, or is it just heavily implied?
No, he says. My mentor, Wilbur Cross.
Yes, he does, you're right. So we know Wilbur Cross was McNamara's former mentor who went into the black and white in 2005 because he says 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And he went in, he swore allegiance to those who were inside, and came out, I believe he's described as a
raving lunatic.
A raving lunatic, that's it. I kind of have this thing, I don't know, I have really no reason to believe this, but we do know that he went in 2005 because the events of Black Friday were just a few months after Guy, which Guy takes place in 2018, right?
Yeah.
And then 13 years before would be 2005. We also know that Hannah is 13, and I kind of like the idea that whatever Hannah did that shattered when she came was also the same moment that Wiley went into the black and white.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have a huge reason to believe that, but that's just kind of where my mind goes.
Mm-hmm. I think that would make sense if it did, since she's, like, so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would make sense that she would have the ability to do that kind of. So, somehow, Wilbur Cross is able to get to and from the black and white, right? Like,
yes,
unharmed.
he is. He can go in and out.
Yeah.
He's the only one who can go in and out without a suit, as far as we know, other than Sniggles.
Mm-hmm.
And the lords themselves, right?
Yeah.
We talked about this a little before. We were very confused as to how he does this.
Yes. How do you think he does it?
I have no clue. He's just got some kind of power or something, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe it's not actually him. Maybe it's, like, Wiggly doing it for him, kind of. Like he's
controlling him?
Yeah. Kind of. Not quite controlling him, but he's, like, gifting him the power to do it, and he can't, like, do it all by himself, you know?
Yeah. When he swore allegiance to them, he somehow
mm-hmm.
got gifted abilities.
Yeah.
Which, he's got some weird ones.
Do you think he swore allegiance to all the lords, or to only Wiggly?
Yeah, I don't know if it's all of them, or only Wiggly. It's
implied that it's, like, more than one, right? In the statement?
In the statement, it's implied that it's more than one. In Watcher World, there's the announcer, which sounds like Uncle Wiley, but Joey Richter is not credited as playing as Uncle Wiley. He's credited as
True.
director and announcer. So I don't know if that's Wiley or not. If it is, he also works for Blinky. If it's not, he probably only works for Wiggly.
Yeah, that would make sense, I think.
Let's talk about his powers. Like,
he can travel in and out of the black and white unharmed.
Yep,
He goes to, like, he ships the delivery of the Wigglies, and then he goes back into the black and white later.
Yeah, because we see him outside when he's talking to, like, Linda and delivering, you're right. And then we see him inside during Made in America.
Yeah.
He's also able to, like, teleport objects. He takes Linda's pepper spray, as well as... Oh, he possesses Pamela, too.
Yeah, he does possess Pamela. And I think he's, like, higher up than the Sniggles, since they sort of, like, obey him in a way. Like, he conducts them during Made in America. And, like, maybe they listen to him, sort of like Wiggly, but he's just lower down.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got more power than... Because otherwise he'd just be a Sniggle, probably, right?
Yeah. How do you think he is able to have more power and, like, Wiggly doesn't... Like, he's not a Sniggle. Like, it could have something to do with him being connected to Peep, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know what he did. Or, like, see... We don't really know what the Sniggles' deal are. Are they people before? Like, do they become Sniggles? Or are they creatures that were created in the black and white?
Or are they just actors?
Yeah, if Sniggles were people previously who somehow got turned into Sniggles, then why Wiley isn't one is weird. I wanted to talk about in Witch in the Web, when he appears, Hannah says, "How do I know you?" Which...
Yeah, she does! Oh my god.
Where did they meet before? Like, we clearly don't know now, but I'm very curious.
Well, he knows about her. He knows that she's powerful and that she can see, like, the different timelines or endings. I think he knows that.
I guess that would imply that the Lords know about Hannah, at the very least.
Yeah.
Because they know about Webby. And I don't know how Webby is connected to them. Because when Wiggly's talking to her, to Hannah. When he's talking to her, he seems to know that she's special. He doesn't really... he briefly talks to other people, but not as in-depth as he goes with Hannah.
No, he definitely knows that she's special. He says that she has lots of power in her head, basically.
Yep.
And he knows that. And maybe the way that she knows him has something to do with, like, when he went in when she was born, sort of, like, she...
If that's when that happened.
Yeah. Like, maybe she saw him in a dream or something, and she still... like, that seeing him again, like, years later brought that back to her or something.
Yeah, maybe. Or it could be as simple as how Webby operates is giving her visions. Maybe she's gotten visions of Wiley before.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So let's talk about what's going on. Why does he have this apple that he can even give to the audience?
Well, the apple, in this case, like, the closest similarities, it kind of resembles, like, intelligence and death and, like, life in other circumstances. And it's very strange that he's able to, like, give the apple to the audience member, which means that he sees them, and and the apple could represent, like, sin, I guess, kind of. And so then he's giving the apple to, like, the audience, and then maybe they become, like, on the side of the Lords or something.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
If he can corrupt the audience. I'm sure everyone would hop on board with that.
Yeah, and he doesn't do anything to them. Like...
Nope.
That's, like, his only interaction with them.
The apple's kind of also just, like, a common villainous trope. You'll see villains with green apples frequently. Like, recently in the TV show Loki. He Who Remains, when we first see him, he's got that green apple. But yeah, it shows up a lot. I kind of feel like it's... like, villains who end up with green apple, it's normally very confident people who, like, don't care about whoever else is they're interacting with.
He's very, like, above it all, kind of. How do you think the audience is, like, connected to him? Like, what is going on?
I don't know if it's connected to Wiley, but I don't know. We talked about this before. I don't remember if we recorded it or not, but, like, if being in the audience is, like, you're in the black and white.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
I don't think we recorded that. Do you think Wilbur has been, like, recruited by Wiggly to go for Linda, or do you think he just had, like, the idea by himself?
Oh, I had never thought of that before. I'm not sure. It could be either way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, should we move to Holloway?
Yeah, let's go on Miss Holloway.
All right, Miss Holloway. She's one of my favorite Hatchfield characters. I love.
She's a really good character.
Yeah, she's
so, like, mysterious.
Mm-hmm. Let's start with just how her powers work as well, because
Sure.
hers also kind of operate on a what do you want basis. When
Kinda
she
does.
first shows up at the Foster's trailer, she's kind of prompting Pamela to say, I want sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's able to get Pamela to pass out and to let them into her house.
Well, I don't know if she's prompting her. She's just making her more and more tired.
Yeah, it's hypnosis.
Yeah.
What other things does she do? She implies that she can get Lex and potentially Ethan out of prison. Holloway, she's got skills.
Yeah.
She can figure this out. Miss Holloway is, at least in the timeline that we've seen her so far, in The Witch in the Web, she's the one who has the black book.
Mm-hmm. Just the name, it's, like, so ominous and, like, mysterious kind of.
Yes, it is.
So what do we know about the Black Book so far?
The black book it was written by Willabella Muckwab.
Muckwab.
Nick Muckwab?
Yeah, Muckwab.
Saying it wrong all this time. Okay. Willabella Muckwab.
Yeah. It does sound weird. It's just a weird name.
But it was written by her, the first disciple of Wagog Wrath.
Yeah.
And one of Jane's patients likely had a hold of it and made a recording of himself reading it.
How do you think you got it?
I have no clue. Do we know what his name was?
No. It
Yep.
just said one of her patients.
Maybe we'll meet that guy one day.
That
That
would be
person.
Cool. Oh my god. What if he's man in a hurry?
That'd be great.
He could be man in a hurry. I just want to know more about that character. Like,
Man in a hurry.
what's his deal? Why? Like, where is he going? Why is he always rushing around?
Yep.
But yeah, he lists off all the lords' names.
And the enchantment of soul transference.
Yeah.
So there's kind of spells in there.
Mm-hmm.
Or something.
And then Miss Holloway got it back, or like that was after or something.
Yeah, she somehow got it back.
Yeah.
Or not back, but because she didn't have it before. Well, maybe she had it before. We don't really know
She
much
just
of her
got it.
past. But somehow she has it.
Mm-hmm.
And Hannah knows it's bad.
Do we know what else is in the book, or like is it ever stated what else is in there? Is that it
I think that's
so far?
all we know so far.
It's probably got other like spells and stuff though, and
Information on
Yeah.
the lords.
maybe it has information on like powerful people.
Those powerful people.
Well, like maybe
I know what you
maybe
mean.
it's got information like on Holloway herself or on Wilbur or something.
Yeah. Oh, when she first, this is still on the black book, when she first pulls it out, Hannah's like, no, get that away, it's bad, I don't want this.
Mm-hmm.
She also says everything has a price. And Holloway responds, I can pay it, I have very good credit.
Yeah. Do you have any theories about
Nope.
what she means?
I don't know, maybe she's been fighting the lords for a while or something.
Well, I don't know if she's entirely against the lords, because she says in Witch in the Web, somewhere during Witch in the Web, she says something like, the world isn't always black and white, sometimes it's like gray.
Yep.
Sort of like that. And that like defeats the whole purpose of like good and evil and black and white kind of.
Well, that's kind of where most stories with good and evil fighting end up.
Yeah, but
But yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, it's just sort of an odd statement.
Miss Holloway, she loves the 80s. This is something we know for sure.
She has her hair and her makeup. She has an 80s car. She watches 80s workout videos. She recently got a phone.
Yep.
And
Yep. All of the above.
yeah.
I don't know if this is this a popular theory? I don't know.
What?
That she's, like, directly from the 80s? Or is this just us being weird?
I think it's fairly popular.
Okay, I don't read these things. I have no clue.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it everywhere, but it's sort of... I mean, it's not obvious, but it is, like, sort of a direct connection that she does, like, she is sort of from the 80s.
Yeah, I think it's likely she's the, as it's described on Casey's shirt, the pop icon everyone's forgotten.
Yeah, I think
because
so too.
Casey asks for an autograph from her, and Holloway tells Hannah that she played music before.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the case, and she's, like, stepped from the 80s to
She
whatever
time-traveled.
present, yes. How does she do that without
It'd probably be in the book, right?
in the Black Book?
Yeah.
Yeah. There could totally be a spell in there. Yeah. Before, when we've seen time travel, it's been through Tinky.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any reason to think so, but I feel like she wouldn't directly involve herself with that.
No, I think she has the ability to do it on her own. And I don't think someone sent her. Like, I think she did it by herself. Like, gave her, like, sort of punished her like Tinky does. I think she did it by herself. Or maybe she's just, like, immortal or ages really slowly or something. But,
Well, then
well,
she would have adapted to modern
true.
things. I've kind of been toying with this idea. So the black and white is outside of time and space. If you enter the black and white, can you come out in a different either year or timeline?
Well, what evidence do we have to say yes?
We don't know, but we do know that it's outside of time and space, which implies that there's only one of each of the lords.
Mm-hmm.
And then with also this idea, I'm wondering, this is kind of going back to Wiley, could there be more than one Uncle Wiley? If Peep makes the portal and he goes in multiple timelines.
Yeah, it gets so complicated. How do we know that it's outside from time and space?
In the trailer for Guy, it says the meteor's from... I don't remember exactly what it says, but it says the meteor's from a realm outside of time and space.
Mm.
I think Tinky's box is described as being out from... When it doesn't say black and white, it says a realm outside of time and space.
I think that would mean that there's more than one, right? A little bit. I mean, it just depends on...
I don't know.
When
It'd be scary, though.
when he goes in and out. Yeah. It would be, right? Since Miss Holloway says that half the time he wins and half the time she wins, then that would mean that that he is outside of that and that there's more than one of him. If she, like, knows about the different timelines and maybe she's able to go in, too.
Holloway doesn't. Wiley is the one who says only about half the time.
Yeah.
Miss Holloway, I don't know if she knows this or not. She doesn't talk as though she knows that there's other timelines and things.
He would know that there's more than one of him.
Yes, he would.
Yeah. What a weird thought, being more than one of, like, your
I know,
own
it's a weird thing. And then also, is there more than one McNamara stuck in there? I don't know. This is just a thought I've been toying with.
I doubt it, since there's been, like, a lot of things building up to the events of Black Friday, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how often that would happen in that many different timelines.
Yeah. I agree. It's weird. It's just something that I think is interesting.
Yeah.
She describes herself as a good witch sometimes.
Yeah, what do you think she means by that?
I kind of feel like maybe
She's just teasing or not?
She could just be teasing, but I think it also kind of has to do with the fact that she has the Black Book, which is, and when she pulls it out, she says sometimes you have to use something bad to do something good.
Yeah.
So I think she kind of plays both sides, I guess.
Mm.
Maybe she was the one who, with the Web I Spin For You song, maybe she was the one who stabbed Webby in the back, and that's why she got all nervous when Hannah said Webby's name.
Oh. Yeah, that could be.
So maybe she worked for the Lords or did something they wanted previously, but regretted it and is now going against them or something like that.
Or maybe she regrets it in some timelines, in some other different timelines. She's totally on board with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that would make sense if she did. But why do you think she would tell Hannah that?
Tell Hannah what?
That she's only good half of the time. That seems like she's kind of giving herself away, some sort of. And that seems like she's switching back and forth between on the sides of the Lord and being on the side of the good.
She's
like a double agent kind of.
Well, she said good most of the time, not half.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Maybe she is like a double agent. She's working for like the Lords and someone else on the good side.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like maybe, well, she's not working for Webby, but
she may have been previously.
Yeah.
Maybe, this is another thing, maybe Webby was with Miss Holloway before she was with Hannah or something like that. Because how does she know? Well, maybe she knows who Webby is by reading. Did she read the Black Book? I don't know. But maybe Webby's mentioned in there, and that's why she's shocked to hear her name.
Yeah. I think she sounds like she's familiar with it, right? The book?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you think in the Web I Spin For You song, it's like all about Miss Holloway, if that is her, or do you think it switches between people?
I don't know. The Web I Spin For You song has got a lot of questionable lines that
It does.
you could totally dig into, and there's a lot of lines in that song that if you really tried you could connect to other things, but there's not a huge case for it, but there's also not a huge case against it. Because we don't know a whole lot about either of them at this point. Hopefully we'll know about Holloway more by the end of season 2.
Yeah, I really hope so.
But yeah. What's something else? Oh, the hat.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the magic hat.
Well, at first it seems like Ethan is just making it up, like, oh, it'll protect you. But we see that is the case, since it protects Hannah, like, when the people, like, take her backpack because they think she has a Wiggly doll.
It also, I don't know, I think it protected Charlotte in Black Friday. She was wearing the hat because Linda just passed it away.
Yeah.
And Charlotte took it and put it on very happily. And she did not burn with everyone else. Because she returns again at What If Tomorrow Comes.
Yeah, you're right.
But she doesn't have the hat on at that point. Something happened to the hat.
Why do you think she took the hat so happily?
I don't know.
Did she know?
Maybe.
About it?
Yeah, I would love to know more info on Charlotte.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's just what she is at face value.
No, she's got to be more complicated. They all are.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you think the hat got to be magic? Like, do you think it was, like, enchanted upon with the Black Book or something? And somehow Ethan has it in the first place.
Yeah, how does Ethan have it? Let's do that first.
Okay.
So
it was his dad's, right?
It's not this was something I phrased earlier. We don't know for certain if it was his dad. It's either Holloway, Miss Holloway gave it to him, maybe helped him when he was younger or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe somehow his dad had it and he inherited it. Or his mom. We don't know who his mom is.
No, I wonder if we'll ever find out. Do you think that the hat is, like, do you think it got enchanted by the Black Book or something?
Maybe. It says it's been imbued with the power of Greyskull.
Which is from He-Man.
He-Man, Eternia, Etheria. We also get a reference to that with Hannah's I have the power statements multiple times.
Yeah.
But, yeah. If Greyskull is a real place, something in the middle of the... Because black and white mixed, gray.
You know about that stuff.
I don't know a lot about it. I've just, I watch all of that, but I don't know a whole lot about it. But yeah, if Greyskull is an actual place in Hatchetfield, or in the world that Hatchetfield exists in, it'd probably be somewhere in the middle of, because black and white mixed together is gray.
Yeah.
But it could also be from Black Book, right? If Holloway has it. Because Holloway could be described as a warrior. Because Ethan says a powerful warrior gave it to him.
Yeah, She definitely could be. If she helped him, like, when he was younger, then that would make sense.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Hatchetfield's going on what characters want. What does Miss Holloway want?
To help people? Help kids?
I guess that's really our only lead on what she'd want.
I mean, so far, I think the only thing we have to go on her want is that she just wants to help, like, kids who are struggling. Do you think it's only kids who are struggling, like, with powers or, like, magical stuff? Or do you think it's, like, other things?
Yeah, I don't know. She says she helps kids with problems adults might not understand or believe. She says this to Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
But then she also says the others are not like Hannah, that Hannah's different. So if whoever the others that she's helped are, if they're different from Hannah,
That could just mean that Anna's more powerful than them.
I think it could just be that. But I think it's likely they had some kind of thing, because Duke calls her and asks for help in her area of expertise or something like that. Because he calls her a specialist in, and this is implied in the area of magical issues.
Yeah.
So maybe the others also had.
Then Ethan would have to be powerful and special in some way too,
That
right?
would be if she helped Ethan, which we still don't know for sure.
Yeah. We don't really get any of him being powerful other than having the hat. Like, we never see him. Yeah, we don't see him do anything. I was gonna say we see him in the black and white, but that's not him.
Yeah, that's just Wiggly talking through him, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let's get to their Wiley and Holloway's kind of past there.
Like, relationship and
Their
stuff.
relationship we've
Yeah.
got. This is a fun topic to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
In The Witch in the Web, when Wiley is first shown in The Witch in the Web as a skeleton in Miss Holloway's Nightmare Theater, which is also the Starlight.
He comes there just because Hannah's there, right? And he wants to get to her. Like, you don't think he lives in her nightmare time?
I'm not sure. I think his skeleton is there before
Yeah.
Hannah shows up, probably. But Hannah being there brings him
Brings it
back to life.
And nightmare time's sort of synonymous with black and white, right? Sometimes.
I don't think so. I think Drowsy Town is equivalent
Yeah.
to black and white. Nightmare Time is it's not quite the same thing. Otherwise, I don't know. Wiggly does show up in Holloway's Nightmare Time, but I think it's just
When?
when Hannah's all freaked out, and then it's said, then there's another voice, and
Yeah.
Wiggly says, "We just keep running into each other, don't we, Hannah?"
That's right.
And I doubt that that's the real, like, it could be, but maybe, I don't know. So Hannah brought him back to life via Miss Holloway's Nightmare Time, which also calls into question, can you die in Nightmare Time if it's not your Nightmare Time? I don't know.
I doubt it.
It's a little questionable. But
Maybe.
she brings him back, and Miss Holloway says, "You're not real. You're dead. I should know. I killed you."
Mm-hmm.
And then Wiley responds with,
Only about half the time.
"Only about half the time. The other half, I wiped the floor with that head of hair of yours," or
Mop
something.
the floor.
Mopped the floor with that head of hair of yours. And so this implies that we know we have different timelines. We all know we're dealing with this.
Yeah.
And so in half of them, Wiley probably kills Holloway, or maybe converts her to the Lord's side. Maybe that's what she means when she says she's a good witch sometimes. I don't know. So sometimes Wiley wins, and sometimes Miss Holloway wins. And we know that Wiley was killed with the Black Blade. And I kind of like the idea that whoever loses is killed by the Black Blade, because it kind of makes it feel important.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I feel like it'd just be called the knife. Or is it a knife or a sword? Or it's just a blade.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
But yes, that is our situation we're dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
And also, whoever wins gets the jacket.
Yeah. Do you think we've seen the events of, like, the past events of one being killed over the other? Like, if the main characters in that Hatchetfield story have a good ending, then that, like, Miss Holloway won in that timeline, and if they have a bad ending, then Wilbur Cross won in that timeline? Like, good wins over evil, or evil wins over good?
Maybe. I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
I mean, it's an interesting thought, but I don't know how well it would work, since some stories do take place in the same timeline, and sometimes they end well, and sometimes they end badly for the main characters.
The other time we see Wiley is Black Friday, and we know that he beat Holloway in this one because he has the jean jacket.
Yeah.
And
he's got pins on it. He's got the guy who didn't like musicals face pin on
Yep.
it. Why do you think he has that?
I think it's just for decoration. There's also one of Wiggly and a couple other
There's
Hatchetfield themed
a Stargate
pins.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just
I think it's just
for fun.
decoration.
I mean, I feel like it's got a reason behind it.
Well, what's our reason then?
I don't know. Lex has pins on her backpack, and some of them are the same. She's got the Starkey one, and I think maybe another one that's the same.
Yeah, there's no real way to gauge it because we don't see Wiley or Holloway in any of the other stories so far.
It could be a different Wiley/Wilbur in Watcher World, since it's not credited as being him, but it's like the exact same voice, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, and when they're describing how half the time they win and half the time they lose, Wiley says that he's eaten Miss Holloway's heart.
What? When does he say
He
that?
straight up says, "I ate your heart."
At what point? Oh my god. Gross.
But,
I mean, the things you do for revenge or whatever.
yeah, is this a revenge thing? I don't know. I wouldn't think of that word, but it came.
Yeah.
Is it?
What would he be, like, revenging against, or her?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why are they fighting?
They're fighting over, like, good and evil, basically, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is us guessing, really. We don't know for sure.
It seems like the only thing we have to go on is, like, that she's supposedly good and he's, like, evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could totally talk about the 3-girl creature.
Yeah. Let's talk about them.
Do we think these are the others Holloway mentions a couple times?
I think probably.
I agree.
And they're the ones that she couldn't save that died. I don't know how well this works, but there's also the 2 girls backing Alice up in Not Your Seed. So they could they could be some of the girls that, like, Miss Holloway didn't save, maybe. Like, maybe Alice is secretly special. I mean, I don't really have much to go off of that other than that 3 and 3, and they're, like, at least one of them is played by the same actor.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be any Hatchetfield person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no ideas as to who the 3 are right now.
Yeah.
Like, of course, we could just throw 3 names out there and maybe it's them. Yeah, I don't know.
Why do you think Miss Holloway couldn't save them?
I think, I didn't think this before, but when you were talking about revenge, maybe Wiley interfered or something, and this is why she wants to kill him.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Or, other lords interfered and they ended up dead.
Yeah.
Or are they dead?
They're like undead, kind of like zombies.
Yeah. Another thing pointing to Wiley kind of interfering or something. He's excited that they're there. He says he refers to them as the gorgeous girls or something. And he tells them to get Miss Holloway and they listen.
Yeah.
So he's got some connection to them.
Were they in Miss Holloway's mind previously, or did he, like, bring them there with him, kind of?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, if they were there previously in Miss Holloway's mind, then maybe he's more powerful than her, and he's, like, able to make them, like, move, kind of, and do his bidding.
Yeah. It's weird, though, because when they're in Hannah's nightmare time, she explains to Hannah that you have all the power here, it's your mind. Mm-hmm. And then when we're in Holloway's mind, she does have control for a while. When people are talking to her, she's just ignoring them. She says, I don't listen to them.
Yeah.
So instead, they go after Hannah. And then things get wild. And Wiley appears and things. But because it's her mind, she should, by what she explained to Hannah earlier, she should be able to deal with this pretty easily, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
So does Wiley have more power in someone's mind than that person themselves?
I feel like he might, since he is directly related to Wiggly and possibly the other lords. Yes, I think so, yes.
Cool.
Very, very terrifying.
Yeah. Let's touch on the fact that Miss Holloway's Nightmare Time is the Starlight Theater.
Mm-hmm. That seems like it's a giveaway to her being, like, the pop star from the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking that too.
So that would have been a big part of Miss Holloway's life, to have, like, the theater be in her nightmare time and, like, the central point of it, sort of.
Mm-hmm. Alright, everyone, here we are in the future. Nightmare Time is over. If you haven't seen it, we highly recommend getting tickets for it. We're about to move into the spoiler section of this episode, and we're going to talk about the events that occurred, mostly in Killer Track for this episode, but really in Nightmare Time Season 2 in general.
Let's dim the lights and close the curtain on the spoiler-free part of the episode. When we pick back up, we will be talking about spoilers for Nightmare Time Season 2, and we'll finish off the podcast episode.
Alright, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Wilbur Cross.
Okay.
So, I only have one note that I thought of since we last recorded, and that he can see into the future, sort of, like when he's talking to Frank in the toy store in Black Friday, and he does the, like, these dollars are gonna make a killing, and then he does, like, the neck slice thing. Later, Frank gets his neck cut, and he dies that way. And I don't know if it's much of, like, a seeing into the future, but, like, I feel like he had some, like, he knew what was gonna happen somehow.
I don't know if... I mean, maybe. It's really anything is possible in Hatchetfield, but I think it's more along the lines of he knows they're coming from Wiggly, who is a murderer, kind of.
Yeah, maybe.
He knows that people are going to go crazy for these things, and...
Yeah, it could be that. But it just seems like too big of a coincidence, I think. I mean, if he was able to see into the future, then he would see, like, maybe who would win in the different timelines, like, between him and Holloway. I don't know, maybe he, like, senses that Frank is gonna die that way or something.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I kind of disagree, but... yeah, anything's possible in Hatchetfield.
Yeah.
That's really still my answer to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if he could, I feel like that would come up again later.
Yeah, it would. You're right.
When we see him, and he doesn't have anything else that's...
Maybe it's just foreshadowing to the audience then.
Yeah, I think that's probably
more
likely. Anything else for Wilbur we've thought of since last?
About the apple, I read that an Irish tradition is to, like, cut the apple in half and diagonally both ways, and then it forms, like, a pentagram, and that symbolizes the 5 stations from birth to death and rebirth. And so maybe that has to do with the pentagram, like, in the Black Book. Something like that.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
That's it.
All right, moving to Miss Holloway.
We both have so many notes for Miss Holloway.
Yeah, Miss Holloway is one of my favorite characters. Mm-hmm. I could talk about her for a while.
Yeah, she's great.
Let's start with our new information on the book.
Okay.
So, in Killer Track, we got...
so many, like, cryptic pictures. They're great.
Yeah, very interesting images with... I love that there's a physical book that she flips through.
Do you think the writing is just, like, gibberish, or do you think it's, like, tiny, like, cursive or something?
Well, I kind of have zoomed in and everything on it, and some of it is really tiny cursive, and then some of it is gibberish, or just straight up scribbles.
What does it say at the front of the book? Something black and white.
I don't remember. I have it written down back at home. I'm pretty sure it says, "You are a fool to seek the black and white."
Because I couldn't tell, since part of it is hard to read.
I'm pretty sure that's what it says. And then there's other, like, little snippets of phrases you're able to pick up through the pictures that we've seen, but not a lot to actually go on.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, the most interesting thing in there for me that I spent the most time looking at was the map of Hatchetfield that's in there. On the map, there are 5 black dots on it that are covered in red ink. One of them is X'd out. One of them is circled a bunch of times. And just, I don't know what's up with these locations, but my mind kind of goes to, there are 5 lords in black, 5 dots.
Like, they rule over 5 different parts of town or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's possible.
Or something. Yeah.
And then also, there's, like, in the top left corner of the map, there's a smaller island that's connected to Hatchetfield by a bridge.
Have you seen that account on Instagram? I think I tried to share it with you, but it's, like, this whole account that made the map of Hatchetfield, and it's got, like, the stores and stuff. It's really cool. So it'll be good to get more, like, world building and more, like, shops and things in Hatchetfield.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
What other images do we get in there? Oh, the, like, ritual with the cloaked people and the woman with red hair.
Standing in the pentagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this person Miss Holloway? Maybe?
It's not quite a theory, but it's a thought that if it is Miss Holloway, and those are, like, the cloaked figures that we see standing with Nibbly, then maybe he was the lord who she made a deal with to, like, people forget her past, like, whenever she tries to talk about it.
Yeah. One of the cloaked people things, one of them has the black blade. I mean, maybe it's another knife, but...
Yeah. Like, the 2 main characters that Kim plays are Becky Barnes and Miss Holloway. And there aren't any other people, like, with red hair like that.
Girl Jerry is bigger than we think.
Maybe she is, yeah.
It also might just be, in the book, the only colors that are used are of ink are black and red.
Yeah, it could be that.
What else is it? Oh, when it's described, Rose sees a family tree of eldritch horrors.
Yes.
Which I would like to see that
I would love to see that. Who's their daddy?
Yes, I want them to have a daddy.
How were they created? Do they have any kids? What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Maybe in the future.
We also have the beautifully drawn image of the Black Blade. Or probably the Black Blade. I mean, what else would it be? There's the drawing.
There's a drawing of Tinky, the Tinkerer.
The Tinkerer, Tanoi Caraxus.
And he looks different than he's described. He's missing an eye and an ear.
He's not missing an ear. One of his ears is just giant compared to the other one.
Oh.
And one of his horns is made of, like, gears, and he's got...
human hands.
Yes, he has human hands, and...
it's really weird.
Like, floating masses of energy that look like there are fingers sticking out.
What do you think is going on with all, like, the gear imagery in the Black Book?
I imagine the Black Book there's some kind of organization in there, and... because Miss Holloway was looking for a spell that involves siphoning Tinky's magic.
Yeah.
So, how clocks are working. I'm really intrigued by the compass that's pointing east as well.
Oh, I don't know if I saw that one.
But
I didn't pause at that.
There are... I think the clocks are just there because they're looking for a certain spell that involves Tinky. Oh, there's also the drawing of just an ominous door surrounded by darkness.
I don't remember that.
I don't know. Maybe it's a portal.
Yeah, maybe it is. Pretty creepy.
There was another one, but it's hard to see because it's when she's flipping, you can barely see it. But one of the words you can make out on one of the other pages is thunderstorm.
Oh.
And so it looks like a town, and then there's, like, red lines all over it that kind of look like lightning.
Yeah. Maybe that's Pokey's page.
Maybe. Do you have anything else to say on the book?
Somehow she can summon sort of, like, some of Tinky's power and bend it, not break it. And how do you think that works?
I think this is probably part of the deal she makes. Let's go into the deal.
Okay.
Who do you think that was with?
I think it was with Nibbly, because of, like, if it was her standing in the pentagram and the cloak figures and they come up in Honey Queen, I think it was with Nibbly. Or maybe Tinky, since he has to do with, like, time and stuff.
I think it may have been with just kind of the Lords in Black in general.
Yeah.
Or if it's with a specific one, I think it's most likely to have been Tinky because of the way she sounds familiar with him.
Yeah, she does.
Or maybe she just siphons his powers the most often, but it sounds like she's familiar with him.
Mm.
The deal, whatever it is, the side effect of it is that people can't remember her past. Anytime she explains any part of her past, the memories are plucked right from their minds, and they forget that the event ever even happened, which is what happened when she sang Run Away With Me.
Yeah.
Luckily, we can remember that song. So that is the side effect of it. And I'm trying to think what she could have done that would have such a cost. And I think maybe it's how she got the book in the first place.
Oh.
Or the fact that she's able to do all of these magical things.
Yeah. Like, maybe she stole it from one of the lords, or, like, one of their worshippers or something, maybe.
Yeah, in Daddy, Sheila says something about it being taken from the Starry Children.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't seen these enough times to know exactly when this was. I don't remember how long ago that event would have happened. But I don't think Holloway probably wasn't the one to have stolen it originally from them, unless it happened more recently than we think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how she got this thing. An interesting thing about the memory is that Duke is able to remember that Miss Holloway can do magic, and he knows about the book and the monsters, but he just can't remember her specific past. But it's strange that he knows that the book exists, and he doesn't know what the lords are, but he knows there are monsters and other such scary things in there.
Let's talk about when she talks about the paradoxes. She says, tiny paradoxes happen all the time. And that sounds like timelines, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not quite to the extent of, like, an actual big timeline, but, like, little differences or changes or something.
But so the paradox they're talking about is when Miss Holloway... What do we even call that? She pushes Rose out of her own body.
Yeah.
It says she's been pushed to nowhere, and Miss Holloway is then in control.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think Rose went?
I don't know. It says nowhere. My first thought is black and white,
Yeah,
but if it was black and white, it would have probably been described or something. It says, yeah, it just says Rose's consciousness has been pushed out of her body to nowhere.
Like, that sort of brings up the question, why does she have these powers and where did she get them from?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we really have any answer to go off of that.
No. I hope we learn her past eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also kind of fun if it remains a mystery.
Yeah. I hope we learn her first name sometime.
Yeah.
Oh, why do you think that pie is so important to... in the note she says, like, just have some pie and calm down, and then, like, read this letter. Don't call the ambulance. Don't send me to the morgue.
Yeah, I don't know
And
if that's
in the life,
something to dig into, is it?
Well, I think it's weird, right? Like, I don't think it's just for fun. Like, I feel like magic pie or something. I don't know, like, what it could mean. And it's in the live action thing when she's flipping through the book, she has pie on the ground sitting with her too. And I just think that's kind of weird.
Well, I think part of it is just she runs Miss Retro's diner.
It is.
And she What else does she have? We know there are fries and I think pancakes was the other thing, and eggs.
Yeah.
So she was talking about breakfast there.
How would she have been able to get brought back to life then? Like, would it have just been time? Like, after she got killed, and then she said in the letter to just have some pie and don't call the ambulance?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I think it's probably a part of whatever the deal is, or maybe she did a spell in the Black Book that makes it so if she dies, she comes back in a couple of hours. But the way she writes the note, it sounds like she's died before.
It does. Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. And, like, maybe she dies different ways, like she dies permanently or she dies temporarily, like in her fights with Wilbur Cross.
Yeah, maybe the only way to kill her permanently would be with the Black Blade.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But we know the whole showdown with those two hasn't happened yet, because she does still have her jacket.
Yeah. Or maybe she won the showdown.
Or, yeah, maybe.
And what brought her back when Duke went to see her at the morgue and he found her body?
I think just time. Like, there's probably a timer on how long she remains dead to some extent. Or maybe she has to do, her consciousness has to do something that takes a while.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
And I think it was just coincidence that it happened when Duke broke into the morgue.
Yeah. And she's able to make, like, a dummy, essentially, of her body.
That was cool.
And doesn't she say something about, like, her alias as Miss Holloway only is good for 15 years?
Yeah, she says they're only good for about 15 years anyway. Which...
That's so, like, cryptic and mysterious.
It is. It means maybe she's... Well, because she has the actual Black Book, she could be like Sheila. Staying young.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, how many times has this happened? That these alias things have failed?
I mean...
She says they're only good for about 15 years anyway, after that people start to notice.
Well, so maybe she's, like, getting older, or maybe she's, like, taken over someone's body or something, and she's, like, fading back into the person's body who she took over or something like that.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I wonder who she would have taken.
But yeah, I'm curious, like, what she does that would make people notice any kind of difference.
Maybe she herself turns into a lord or something like that.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but sure.
You never know.
Sure.
And she has a car from 1987. Maybe she herself is from 1987, or like she was... She got her power in that year or something.
Oh, she is, like, almost definitely at this point the person on Casey's shirt. The whole world's forgotten.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much almost, like, it's basically confirmed.
But the fact that Casey remembers is interesting.
Yeah. Casey wasn't one of the girls that she couldn't save, right?
No, Casey was a tree person.
Yeah.
She was planted because she had the gift.
Maybe people... Well, I was gonna say maybe people with the gift can remember, but we learned that lots of people have the gift, and it's not very uncommon.
Yeah. Going back to kind of like, I don't know what to call it, the ritual they do at Miss Retro's. When she's setting up for this thing, she pulls out a carving, a gold puzzle box, and a glass with a spider web inside.
I was gonna bring that up too.
Yeah. Do we think... When I hear gold puzzle box, your mind instantly goes to
Tinky's box.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it's extremely unlikely that she actually has that.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think she has that, but like a replica maybe to summon, like, going back in time to represent the time part of it.
Yeah.
Something like that. And what was the thing about the spider?
A glass with a spider web inside, which I think that's pointing to... Webby.
Yeah.
Like, kind of the timelines in general, because Hannah describes the world as being kind of curvy and web-like in Yellow Jacket.
And Miss Holloway knows about Webby, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think we touched on this in the first part.
Yeah. And what do you think the carving could be?
I have no idea what the carving is. What if it's Hannah's carving? No. This happens before Yellow Jacket.
How do we know?
Because Yellow Jacket is in October, and this is during the Honey Festival.
The Honey Festival was in the summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we know what month for sure?
We don't know for what month for sure. Honey Festival is day after Miss Holloway dies. And then, after the whole terribly heartbreaking moment of Miss Holloway and Duke in the boat, we go to months after, when Duke is going to the school to talk about Hannah's accident.
Oh, yeah.
Which, that would have happened before Hannah went to the Roller-Rama, because after she goes there, she doesn't need the school to pay for the bills anymore. So that moment is just, it's in a small window.
Yeah.
But, yeah. This is, Honey Festival's in the summer. What else was in there?
Oh, I have something. She pretty much, it's stated that she died in Black Friday because Wilbur-Cross has the jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we hit that the first half, too.
I don't really have anything to add, but just saying.
When Duke is he's panicking because, like, Miss Holloway's gonna die, what are we gonna do? When she says she's taken the curse. And he asks her something about what if it's a ghost or something. Yeah. And she says, if it's a ghost, I'll trap it in this jar. I'm not worried about that. Which...
That's kind of weird.
Is a little weird. Miss Holloway, where have you seen these ghosts before? What's going on there?
Do you think it's, like, an actual ghost, like, of a dead person? Or do you think it's...
The killer track?
No, like, I don't know. I don't even know what the killer track is, because Nick said it didn't have to do with Pokey.
Yeah, the killer track is kind of its own thing, like the Axeman is.
Yeah. I'm so confused by it. I just want to know, like, what's going on and, like, how it was created and how they created it without dying and stuff. And they said that people from 16 to 21 have died and, like, no other ages.
Well, that's because Kale. Because Kale was going to these, like, concerts, and that's kind of the age range that would be there.
Yeah.
It says the people who died before, the only thing in common they had was they were at a concert the week before.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that's probably just the age range of people Kale was able to get listen to it.
Yeah. And she has her hat back.
She does have her hat, but Hannah also has the hat in Yellow Jacket. She's got a blue hat on. It's twisted backwards.
You're right.
So we don't know for certain if it's the hat, but I mean,
yeah,
blue hat is kind of.
And what do you think "earn this" means? Just on her guitar when she
sings
the "Run Away with Me" song.
I think. Well, okay. This is either the video we get if we think of it as more than just a video. It's either like what we're watching is either kind of a flashback to when she did this song originally, because she says it's one of mine, which means she wrote it in the past.
Yeah.
Or it's the guitar she picked up on the stage. So it's either one of the Needy Beast members' instruments, or it was her old one.
It still must mean something, though.
I don't know. I think it's just kind of, you have to earn her.
How? Because I feel like Duke has earned her.
Well, in Killer Track we learn that, like, people are talking about how much they love Miss Holloway, and people always respond, who doesn't?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like...
Like she has to love you back, kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she knows about Nibbly because she's probably... Like, he's probably in the book, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's probably in there.
He's got tinking stuff. And if it is her, like, in the pentagram with the cloak figures around her, we've seen the cloak figures before in Honey Queen, and they are they members of the Church of the Starry Children?
They are members of the church.
Yeah. So the members of the Church of the Starry Children, and I guess their whole thing is, like, worshipping Nibbly. So...
Well, is it just Nibbly, or is it all the lords?
Yeah, good question.
It could just be Nibbly, because it's the season of Niblin-Epham.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think she knows about Nibbly. And then, why... I feel like she would have stopped them. Like, stopped that whole thing going on, maybe.
I mean, maybe she tries to in some timelines, but I don't... It's been happening for years, right? It's a tradition.
Yeah, for hundreds of years.
And...
Since the founding.
I mean, if she were to go there to stop them from sacrificing whoever wins the Honey Queen pageant,
yeah,
I feel like she'd just end up dying instead.
Mm-hmm.
But she does know that that whole thing is happening, because she says it's a magical time when dark forces are able to walk the earth, or something like that.
When did she say that?
Near the end, when they're in the boat, she says the Honey Queen really is a magical time of year.
That's right.
Or not the Honey Queen, the Honey Festival.
Yeah, the Honey Festival. Yeah.
Oh, so sadly we didn't learn her past when Duke asked all these questions.
I was so ready.
I know, I was so excited.
I was like, oh my god, Duke's asking all the right questions. Like, yes, this is our time. Let's learn about her.
But I kind of love that they just took that away. But what we do hear from her is, it all started when I first came to Hatchetfield, which means she isn't from Hatchetfield originally.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. So, Rose says that the killer track is sadistic, and then the sadistic thing gets brought up again in Yellow Jacket when referring to the lords. I think it's Eddie or Charles that says the lords are hungry, clever, tricky, and sadistic, and Pokey is uncompromising. So sadistic is brought up again, which, I mean,
I think that's just a great word to describe the eldritch horrors that are the Lords in Black.
It is. But I just thought that was sort of interesting wording, like bringing it back again. Yeah, maybe it was a different lord that caused the killer track. We never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was any of them. I think the killer track is kind of its own thing, like how Lumbrax is, and Chumby.
Oh yeah.
And
Willabella?
Willabella.
Not to the same extent.
No, Willabella is directly related to the lords.
Yeah.
Like, not related, but
she's connected to them.
Yeah, she's connected to them. She wrote the book. She was the first disciple of Wagagi Wrath.
Yeah.
There are 3 things listed on the... I think Willabella was the 3rd.
She was the, the
Mucklub Witch.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Duke is confronting her about you were dead and all of this, and how I've seen you do magic before, but this is undeniable, something that's... You can't explain this. And she responds, it took me a while to get used to it, too.
Yeah.
So maybe she did get all of these abilities whenever she made the deal.
Maybe it's
instead of having the gift, like...
Yeah, maybe she's always brought back somehow, but...
Oh yeah, maybe it's directly talking about her dying and coming back to life.
Yeah. Maybe Wilbur doesn't know, like, when she's brought back, or they have to keep fighting over and over again or something. Or maybe she's not, like, bringing herself back. Like, it's like, the person who she... Or the being, the thing who she made the deal with, or something like that. But it doesn't seem like she made it happen, you know?
Well, we don't really have any insight into what Miss Holloway's doing. Either it's just kind of an automatic thing when she dies, or her consciousness is doing some kind of something, going on a dream quest or something.
Yeah.
And is doing whatever to get herself to come back to life.
Yeah, maybe.
Or can you think of any other things it could be?
Well, it just, the wording of it, I think, doesn't seem like she's doing it. I feel like it seems like something else is...
The wording of what?
The wording of, like, whatever it was. Like, oh, it took me a while to get used to it, too.
Oh.
I just feel like that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know if it's talking about her coming back to life and dying, or if it's just talking about her... I kind of am leaning towards it's talking about her magic and powers in general.
Yeah, that could work.
Because she doesn't say, now you've seen me die and come back to life. She says, now you've seen me do something truly unexplainable, or something like that, which other magic could do. She does do another unexplainable thing when she does the... plucks a hair and creates a double.
Yeah. Do you think that Double is like a clone of some sort, or do you think its only purpose, like it was never alive and like its only purpose was to just be like look like it was dead, or do you think it is actually like a clone that can walk around and do things?
I don't know. At this point, I'd say it's more likely it's just a dummy, because she says, there, that'll probably last long enough for them to bury it.
Mm-hmm.
Which implies that it's just kind of
Yeah.
an object. But at the same time, with all of her powers, it's totally possible it could be a temporary clone. She's just told to look like it's dead.
And then that would, like, raise the, like, the chances of her killing Wilbur Cross. I think if she had, like, multiples of her.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Because Wiley cheats.
Yeah, he does.
Straight up admits to doing that. And so, yeah, maybe Miss Holloway has ways of getting the edge back.
Mm-hmm. She does seem more honest, though, and I don't know how, like, honest and truthful that would be, having multiples of yourself.
Yeah. Well, she's got all these aliases.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Do you think we've seen or, like, heard about a past alias?
I don't think so. Because if it lasts 15 years, we've only got 2018 to 2020 worth of stories in Hatchetfield, which isn't long enough for... Well, unless Miss Holloway is her newest one, and she was only Miss Holloway for, like, a year.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think we've met any of her others.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Miss Holiday.
Yeah, that's Holiday.
Okay, going back to her kind of coming back to life thing. At one point, Duke said, like, after they think she's dead and gone forever, Duke says to Rose that she lived to help people. And so we know this because she loves helping these kids. But I'm kind of wondering if she's not helping people and she dies, will she still come back to life, if that is what she lived for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a good point. I like that theory. And do we have anything to rule that out?
No, but there's nothing really for it either. It's just kind of a thought.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I like that.
And then also in kind of throughout episode 3?
Yeah.
Throughout episode 3, we get a bunch of more nods to Greyskull and Eternia. He-Man playsets.
I know nothing about He-Man.
Which the hat is imbued with the power of Greyskull, which Greyskull is kind of... You have Castle Greyskull in He-Man, and Eternia, or if you're more with She-Ra, Etheria. And so that's the playsets and stuff that Frank is talking about. And this could either just be a nod to... And she's got, like, collections of Greyskull toys in Miss Retro's.
Oh,
because Frank goes in there and is commenting on this.
You're right.
Which could just be, like, she loves the 80s, and that's when these things came out. I think which is probably more than that, but, you know, maybe that's all it is.
Because it's been brought up since Black Friday, and that was, like, a while ago.
That was a while ago. So, if Greyskull isn't just that, is Greyskull a place, like in He-Man, or is it a person?
Maybe it's
or
like
a
symbolism
being?
For something.
Yeah, we touched on it in the first part too.
Yeah.
But
could it be Webby?
I don't think Webby's Greyskull, because Webby is a queen in white.
Yeah.
Webby's not gray. I think we're gonna get someone else who's gray, or Greyskull is gonna be a place.
Yeah. It's got, like, protective powers, I guess? I don't really know what else to call it, but, I mean, we do see it protect Hannah.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in the first part, but if Ethan got the hat from Miss Holloway, then it was probably already imbued with it, and then he wasn't just, like, making something up to, like, make Hannah laugh and, like, make her be okay. It maybe was actually imbued with the power of Greyskull.
Yeah. He says it's from a powerful warrior.
Yeah.
He-Man's real in Hatchetfield.
I mean, yeah, you never know.
But yeah, Greyskull's... I kind of hope it turns out to be
Yeah.
something.
That would be cool.
But so back to the, like, ritual thing they do at Miss Retro's. She says we need the darkness, the flame, and the smoke from the candles.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I didn't write it down because I didn't know how important it was. Do you have any
I don't
theories?
really have any theories on it, but the fact that they need the darkness in order to do something with this is a little suspicious. But we know it's called the Black Book. Of course they need darkness to do this.
And it's a ritual, right?
I have been using the word ritual because she has, well, I don't know. I think ritual is the best word I can think of, or spell, because she's got to set up this thing with the candles and the carving, the box, the glass, and all this stuff for it to work, which makes me think ritual.
Mm-hmm. Can we just take a second to appreciate her? Like, she's so selfless.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. Miss Holloway is a wonderful character.
She is. She's a good guy. Are the lords themselves are not immortal, right? Since we see Blinky and Pokey die. Maybe Pokey.
Well, I don't know. So, we get this whole thing with the lords of, is it actually the lords or is it someone in a bodysuit that they're kind of controlling? With the exception of,
or maybe
like,
it's just random people in the town just dressing up in, like,
that
eldritch
would be
being
funny
bodysuits.
if
It's
the Starry Children, they think they created all of these things, and so they dress in bodysuits to scare everyone.
Yeah, if they're,
that would
like,
be
going
hilarious.
crazy. Yeah, that would be really funny.
But we know that's not what's happening because they can't force all these magical things to occur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we see Blinky die, but then there's the whole thing of there's only one of each of these guys, so if they die in one timeline, we're not going to see them again, which
maybe
I doubt.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they can just be, like, wounded or, like, really close to death and they get brought back. Or, like, maybe once they actually die, they're able to be brought back by themselves or by, like, a different lord or power or entity or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Alright, I think that's all we have for episode 3. In this episode, we talked about the Black Book, Miss Holloway and Wilbercross's feud/relationship, how their powers work, and Miss Holloway's past.
Thank you so much for joining the Apotheosis today. Next episode will be our Lords in Black Part 2, where we talk about all the things that go down in Nightmare Time Season 2.
Our doors are open, so please feel free to contact us at the Apotheosis Podcast on Instagram and email us at theapotheosispodcast@gmail.com.
We hope you have a la-di-da-da day.